Crosby from the corner, twisting and turning inside out. Beautiful move, trying to get to Sonami. Holds, he shoots, he scores! Absolutely!
The pitch, high fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
Pittsburgh Sportsline TV show in the BP TV studio, right here in the municipal building, lower level, right across from the police station. Library up above, mayor's office and admins upstairs. And we're going to do a show for you. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Nick Callis can't make it. He's producing the Pirate Show. Smoking Jim Frazier's here. I don't know, can you switch cameras to show the people I'm talking about? Yeah, there we go. And then I got a special guy, Steve, stepping in, who does sports memories. And I'm glad to have him fill in. And of course, I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Whew. We'll try to get this show going. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7. Only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us Verizon 32 in Bethel Park, all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, greater Pittsburgh area, even downtown Pittsburgh. Thanks for watching us there. We appreciate you. And thanks for all the Facebook likes. 6,956. Smoking Jim, I heard you. Sorry, that just slipped out, folks. We appreciate you. It's a live show, so we have some humor here. I got some promos here. We got Ethan. He's been here for at least 4 years that I know, maybe longer. And we have some promos. He's going to show us the promos right now. Let's see what he comes up. You got to get a close shot of each promo. So Ethan, just listen to me and get a close shot. There it is.
Hey.
Olive Oil's Pizzeria, Frank Fanera. I saw him tonight. He said, hi, Smoking Jim.
Oh, my man.
And he sponsors us with an XL pepperoni pizza and a steak hoagie cut in 6 slices. Delicious. Great Italian food, great pasta, great salads, desserts, plenty of different drinks and things. And it's just great. Hillcrest Shopping Center. Give them a call, 412-831-1900. It's just 5 minutes from our studio. I passed Brewster's and cut down that Lindemere, come right to our studio. So it's right here. Check them out. Great food. They have great specials. Give them a call. All right. Let's see what we got here next. My bag of tricks. Let's see what Ethan can do on this. So there we go.
Hey.
Great job, Ethan. That's Joey Fabus before DIPG, the brain cancer that killed him when he was 8 years old, right before his 9th birthday, 8 years ago. And there he is with DIPG. Very sad. The family started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. They've raised over $100,000 to try to find a cure for brain cancer. It's a death sentence. When you get it, you die within a year. And matter of fact, I'm honored to have Joey's older brother, Josh, is working cameras tonight and learning the control room. So how cool is that? Get his brother here, and we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. They got a great 5K, 1 mile Joey Fabus superhero DIPG 5K 1 mile run at the high school on September 8th at 9 a.m. Dress up as a superhero, costs you $25. You run 1 mile or walk 5K, and it's a great day. That's their largest fundraiser of the year. Help them get some money to find a cure so other children don't have to die like poor Joey did. Thank you. All right, next up, Ethan, try to get it close on there, and what we can see, there's not much to work with if you just get the top part of it. Let's see what you got. I'll critique it a little, Ethan. That is perfect. Look at that. The Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road, right here in Bethel Park. It's a 1905 schoolhouse, been remodeled from the basement all the way to the cupola on the roof. 107 new windows. We did a Pittsburgh Sportsline show there last Thursday. Bill Haberther told me 107 brand new windows. So what a place. They have events there. They have the Community Foundation Auditorium, gave $20,000. I'm a trustee on the board there, and the room is wonderful. They have a library, they have old military uniforms, and they have all the yearbooks going back to the start of the schoolhouse there on Park Avenue. And it's just a great place. They have an artist there, they have a dance studio, a fitness area. There's my favorite coffee place, which I drink my green tea, Reginald's Coffee. Can't beat it. They've been around for 3 years. They're going under a remodel. So check out the new digs they got there. They have a roaster. They get different coffee beans from all over the world. They have a roaster right in their working area, and they roast them up fresh. Hundreds of friends tell me, and I mean hundreds, it's better than Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and anything else. So check out Reginald's Coffee. All right. We got another 501c3. Let's see what Ethan can do on this one. Look at that red shirt I got there. What a great close-up. Always be smiling. That's Bennett. He's the B in there. He was a handicapped child. He had 2 kidney transplants, one from his dad, Dean, and his mother, Kristen. They started a 501c3 and call it Always Be for Bennett Smiling. They asked me to help get some likes. We got them up from 800 likes to over 1,200 likes. Thanks to all of you friends of mine and others who have liked the page. They do different events on the Montour Trail and other areas, even in Upper St. Clair. And they raise all kind of money to help children getting kidney transplants or suffering from kidney disease. So their money goes to great young people that need help. And they did it in honor of their son, Bennett. Very proud to honor them. Next up, we're talking about kidneys. It's almost 3 years, September 13th, which was my lucky Friday, 2019. My son donated a kidney. He's a living donor. And look at that. Look at Kathleen smiling there. I met Kathleen through a social worker friend of mine. She said, Al, could you talk to her and explain what you went through? So we became friends. I said, I'll help get you a living donor if you give us a flyer. So she put her smiling face there. Her kidney functions 17%. When it gets to 15%, she can get a new kidney. So she's tried to get a donor, and guess what? Last year she announced she got a living donor. Until she gets the surgery, she can't tell us who the donor is. So thanks to whoever that person was, and you're in our prayers, Kathleen, every week, and we hope you're holding in there until you need the surgery, and we know you'll turn out great. They do over 200 kidney transplants at Starzl Montefiore. They're fantastic there. I go there on September 7th for my 3-year anniversary, and I'm doing great. All right, let's see what I got for Ethan now. See if he can get my smiling face on this one. Drum roll. There he is. He got me focused there. When do you see the talking machine in place of Uncle Sam? Last year, Smoking Jim never heard of Uncle Sam and knew what he was. Now he knows. And you already knew, so I'm not going to insult your intelligence and explain it for the 50th time. So he's making fun at me. I want you for BPTV. You can be like Ethan. You can be like Josh. You can be like Steve Fisher. Came from his job today. He works at auditing for a company that handles nonprofits. He's running a control room. Look at how we look here. And he's teaching Josh how to do it. Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you and your organization doing great things in Bethel. They have grants, $100 to $5,000, and you can go to bpcf.org if you think your group or organization needs extra money to help our community become better. And you can bring it in. I'm a trustee. We meet once every 2 months, and you can get your application, come in, and bring out what you're information is that you need help on to make us better. So check it out, bpcf.org. Well, I went through that a little too quickly. All right, we'll go back to being a volunteer. Sorry, I misread a paper, one of it slipped out. You can be a volunteer, like I was saying, and I jumped to the Bethel Park Community Foundation. BPTV, if you're in high school and you want to learn video, audio, produce your own shows, create video content, work at a TV station, radio station, you can learn it here. Just contact Dave Cable, 412-831-3304. I won't repeat the BPCF organization since I explained how you get money. Enough of that. We're going to go to Smokin' Jim Frazier with What's on Your Mind.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green, you got the C. Levine. Hey, I'm good friends with one of the greatest coaches in the state of Pennsylvania history, Coach Pelko. But him and his Mount Lebanon Blue Devils is coming into Anna Marino Stadium Friday night to get the whooping of their lives, brother. We taking no prisoners.
No.
So Mount Lebanon will start off 0-1. But what's on my mind, Al Levine, the talking machine, is George Pickens, wide receiver, freakish wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac. I'm going to talk a little bit more about him, but
Go ahead.
This is a splash receiver, 6'3", silky smooth, can do all the toe taps that Antonio Brown could do, and Chad Johnson. Got great hands, catches everything. Probably the best Steeler rookie wide receiver since Louis Lips. I think he's going to be all pro and got a chance to win Rookie of the Year this year. But in fiction and fact, this is a teaser. I'm going to poke a little holes in this game. I'm going to tell you what I see from my scout's eye about George Pickens.
Thanks,
And
Smokin'
that's what's
Jim.
on my
Just
mind.
don't talk about his ego and issues like that. That slip out, I was just thinking of that. Teaser from the talking machine.
There you go, brother.
All right, hello to Ralph Williams.
My man.
Ralph Williams has a comment. I don't know whether to believe him or not, but he went to Olive Oils, mentioned my name and Smokin' Jim, and they charged him double. I'm glad it wasn't triple. I'm friends with Frank. Just mention us again. He'll get even. Amy from Giant Eagle said, "Hi, guys. I'm away on vacation at Pymatuming Lake. It's 83 degrees, hot and humid." Well, Amy, I'll tell you something simple. Is the lake still there? Jump in. We're not out in Nevada in Lake Mead, all right?
Did you just tell somebody to go jump in a lake?
Yes. I'm friends with her, too. Well, she said it's hot and humid. We try to cure that on Pittsburgh Sportsline. But thanks, Steve. Then Johnny Mariano, great show, guys. Thanks for being a fan. We appreciate it. He has one question for you, Smokin' Jim. This is important, so listen. Is Smokin' Jim Frazier available to homeschool my son Michael? Well, before he answers it, he graduated Gateway High School, and we never saw a degree. We never saw a diploma. He went to Cal U, and I had many friends and their kids go there. They searched for years, found no record anywhere of Smokin' Jim. If you still want him to homeschool Michael, I respect you. So we'll move on. We got a great fill-in for Chip Hayner. He couldn't make it. He was tied up on his job, literally and physically. And we're going to let Steve tell you what's on your mind.
I just wanted to mention that the Dennis Eckersley comments the other day.
That's
about
very
the Pirates.
apropos.
Yeah, I can't disagree with him. Like in the point he was making, I think people got offended because he was, it's kind of like family. You know what? You can say they stink, but someone else can't.
Right.
And so I think there was some of that going on. But also, I think he was comparing us to the Kansas City Royals, who are kind of going through a rebuild, but there seems to be a core of players there. And with the Pirates, it's just there just does not seem to be any hope for the future right now. I
Well-
mean, the young guys are bringing up like this Cruz. I glutton for punishment, end up at the game on Saturday. I think he's batting under 200.
Let me explain today. I heard it in. He's only batting 198. He's
Yeah.
below the Mendoza line.
And he doesn't have any home runs. He has
He
like,
hit one.
I think he has like what, 14 or 15
He
home
just
runs?
hit one yesterday
Yeah.
from a knee.
10 home runs.
He has 10 home runs.
Yeah, he
and,
hit-
and like, what does he have? How many RBIs? Like 30 maybe? And that he's played 3/4 of a season. That's just not cutting it. I mean, his glove's good and he's fast, but
Well,
you
he
got to
has-
be able to hit the ball. I mean,
Right.
he's not exactly Ricky Henderson out there.
Whoa, we got a guy on their shows. They do sports memories from Pittsburgh. Steve is all about the Pirates, and I share this with Chip, and Chip doesn't appreciate it because Chip's our resident, totally optimistic Pirate fan. I say I'm a disgruntled Pirate fan because I saw the championships that they won in the 70s, and we haven't won since 79. And the 3 years that people were excited about, I just poo-pooed it because it was exciting, but it took us almost 21 years to get to that point.
And then they're back. They're right back to where they were
Right.
before all of that.
Right. So
And you see other teams like Houston or like you say Kansas City, like they seem to like they go through a rebuild, but then there's like a payoff. They're at least like they make a World Series or win a World Series at some point. And with the Pirates, it's like a bad slot machine. It just never pays out.
well, yeah, no, Steve, you're so right. I appreciate it. We got a couple more. Amy says hi, Steve. So she never met Steve, but she said hi, Steve, in the control room.
Hello, Amy. Or no, it's
Yeah,
Steve. I'm
so-
saying hi for the Steve in the control
Well,
room. That's
I'm figuring it's him first because we
Yes.
talked about
Yeah,
him.
there you go.
But maybe because you're sitting in Chip's desk.
There you go.
I stand corrected. I just thought Amy's watching. So even though I mentioned,
well, we'll cover both Steves.
she
There you
might
go.
have been in the lake though, because I did
well,
tell
there-
her to jump.
Yeah.
So I stand corrected.
Hopefully her phone's waterproof.
Keith Appenrott, who was married to my girlfriend who passed away, sister, Lauren, he's watching. He grew up in Brentwood. His dad was actually a referee. And Smoking Jim, you'll like this. He met my dad before he met me.
Wow.
And he remembers talking to my dad, who was Saul, and he said he was a funny guy.
Wow.
And they talked about referee stuff because my dad was a legendary basketball referee
was.
named Tiptoe or Tippy. And oh, Amy, thanks for bailing me out. She said, after I jumped in, yes, the lake is there and the water is warm. I just added that part. Yes, it's there. Thanks, Amy. We appreciate your update. All right, where am I at? What's on my mind? Thanks, Steve. What's on my mind is I always liked Little League Baseball. I have great memories of my career there, unlike Smoking Jim. Greg Kirby was my catcher, and we were on the Reds team, and we were co-champions that year. So we didn't have playoffs like they do now, and we didn't get attendance trophies. I'll put it that way. We got trophies for winning the first half or the second half. There was no playoffs, so if you didn't win both halves, Smoking Jim, you were co-champs. I know you don't know that in Gateway because you only win there. I don't have records of it, but they just win. And whether it's cheating or not, we don't know. So Little League Baseball at Williamsport, you know that's where they have the championship games.
Oh, yeah.
Then they have semifinals, quarterfinals everywhere around the country. I've been watching it because there's a PA team from Hollidaysburg there. And I think they were supposed to play in the semis or something today or something because there were rain delays. My son, Drew, if he's watching the show, hello, Drew. He loves watching the Little League. That's all that's on our TV until they tell us there's rain delays. So we only have one 49-inch TV. I'm not like Jim Ellenbogen who watches with an 80-inch TV or Smoking Jim that has a 96-inch TV. So we just have the 49er. So I watch some YouTube videos and stuff while he's watching all that because I'll tune in when it's a local team or in a state. But there were some great games, great players, and a lot of good hitting and a lot of good pitching too. So it's just fun because it's like an innocent game back then, Steve and Jim. You know, like it's still innocent. And until you start getting up to college, and we all know how that is with coaches can sign multi-million-dollar contracts and be gone next year. And now you got NIL, which I thought was good for players, but now I see it truly isn't, Because if you have these big universities, what's $5 million, $10 million to them? They can pick your players right off of there. So we'll see if that gets worked out. Hey, that's what's on my mind. We're coming back in 10 seconds for Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
I have some information about the NIL. I can't.
Hold it. Let me shout out to Mark Richard. Loved his dad, Bill Richard. Died a couple years ago at 96. And he's a triathlon type of guy. And he worked at the Pittsburgh Press-Post-Gazette on the Suns list like I did. He didn't take a job. He's a golf pro. Yeah. And Jim Ellenbogen corrected me on the TV size. 85-inch TV. I'll carry on. We got the important stuff out of the way.
But I'm sworn to secrecy. I can't tell what assistant head coach told me this, Terry Smith from Penn State. That
you've never kept a secret on Pittsburgh.
He said that, he told me that if you're not in the SEC or the Big Ten, you're going bye-bye, you know, as far as college football. And he said they've already put away $50 to $60 million in the fund to support that already. So,
well, I got a question for you. Who put it away, and why can't Penn State do it? They have the biggest alumni in the country.
Well, that's what Penn State put that away.
Well, that's why you didn't specify.
Huh? No, that's why
you were talking SEC.
No, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Penn State
Big Ten.
He said
so Penn
State
is $60 million to hand out in NIL.
$50 to $60 million already.
Well, here's the question I have for you and all the experts like you that aren't allowed to talk about it. What happened to Pitt and their great alumni?
Well, I like to, when people tell me something, I like to keep it under wraps.
Yeah, but we know you don't. I asked you a question directly.
But he said Pitt's in trouble because they don't have those kind of
Hold it. They have
pipeline.
all these multimillionaires that sit courtside at basketball games and football games.
Yeah.
They're millionaires. You mean they don't have the money like you?
They're not supporting it. So, yeah. So he said Pitt's going to be.
Well, just to interrupt you, Smokin' Jim says he has a Bitcoin. He found out it's a fraction. Maybe they had Bitcoins last year with you, and they truly lost their money.
Good.
Okay, we'll go to Steve. Is that all you have?
No,
on that?
no. I
okay, because you put these points on.
Well, you
maneuver.
Yeah, you set the ball in motion. I figured I'd piggyback on it with some information I got from Penn State. But anywho,
thank you. We appreciate that.
Hey, listen, what I see from George Pickens, and I've been watching this from when he was all-world at Georgia, and only went in the second round because he's coming off an ACL injury, missed the whole season last year. But
didn't he have some issues at the Georgia that you're going to talk about or not?
I'm
you
not
going to ignore
talk
that?
About any of the off-field. I'm just going to strictly talk about on-field so people can watch and see what I'm talking about. He's got a little Randy Moss in him. And that Randy Moss was the most dominant receiver in NFL history, probably. I think even better than Jerry Rice. But Randy Moss, there was a time when Randy Moss, when he didn't have his mouthpiece in his mouth, when it was dangling from his face mask, you knew it was a run. When he put the mouthpiece in his mouth, you knew it was a pass.
Do you think he cared?
No, he didn't care at all.
Okay, just checking.
And he didn't care at all. But you can load up on the run when you a defensive coordinator and you can get these tendencies. Listen, George Pickens runs the worst pass routes I've ever seen in my life. This guy got great feet, he got great hands, he got great this and that, but watch him. His pass routes are horrible. This is a guy, he has a bad attitude. I can already tell. I know stubborn people. I'm looking at a stubborn guy now. And I can
Thank
tell
you.
He's stubborn. And
I appreciate your compliment.
I can already tell that he got poor game preparation. I don't think it's a coincidence that he barely played the second game of the season, which I think is a mistake for the Pittsburgh Steelers because you just got to play this guy. He's just too good not to have on the field, and you're not going to change him after all these years. He is what he is, and you know.
Didn't Coach Green say that?
Who?
Coach Green. He is what he is.
Oh,
We are what we are.
we are what we are, and you can just
It's a great sports metaphor.
and you can just tell his practice habits leave a lot to be desired. But as far as when the ball's in the air, there's very few in the history of the game that's been better. He gets everything out of that 6'3" frame, and if he's even with you, he can out-jump you. You can tell he was a former great basketball player. He got all the, you know, the post moves and stuff like that. But watch him; he's never open.
Hold it.
The
I need your
defensive backs will
opinions.
always be
I
right
need your
there.
I need your opinion, Steeler Scout.
Yes.
Now, I'm going back in history. We had a great running back, became a Hall of Famer, and everything else called Franco Harris.
Yeah,
you know
lazy.
what he was known?
Yeah, being lazy and running out of bounds. Yeah.
No. Did you know what he
Being
was?
half Italian.
No.
I'm trying to guess.
You're so far wrong, and he's not cheap either. He's not cheap either. He was a bad practice player.
Yes, he was.
See, you didn't mention that, and that's the top thing. You rather get personal.
No, didn't know where you were going.
Well,
But
I'm
one
just
thing-
saying what I noticed
When I
about
used to go
Negative
watch
Jim.
Franco Harris practice,
When was
Franco
that?
Harris would get the football, and if he was 80 yards from the goal line, he would jog it all the way down and then walk back. That was his thing. But
Yeah, but here, I
it
got a
worked
question
out.
for you.
But he had great hands, though.
No,
Franco.
but seeing Franco like that,
Yeah.
were you surprised that he got over 1,000 yards and set the Steeler rookie running record?
Well, I was surprised that year because
No, that's what I
he
asked.
didn't
Thank
start-
you.
No, I was surprised that year
No,
because
thank you.
he was almost cut
Smoking
as
Jim.
a rookie.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you.
was surprised. That
I asked
year.
you one
Because
question.
the reason
Why are you still talking?
Let me answer real quick. It's because he didn't play that much early on, and the 1,000 yards was hard to get back then. And
Why is that?
When
Less
he,
games?
Only 14 games.
well, teams knew how to tackle the run.
Well,
they
that-
stopped the run back then.
Well, if
Well,
you
that's because you could practice tackling.
Yeah,
now
you
with,
could
now
practice
with the,
that.
Now with
Hey,
the union, you
there-
can't do that.
I remember there
Yeah.
was a back for Atlanta Falcons. This is no joke. He got 1,000 yards in the last game of the season. They stopped the game. This is how important 1,000 was. They stopped the game, gave him the game ball. The next play, he lost yardage and lost 1,000. I don't know if they took the ball back, but that's how big it was back then. And I was at the Immaculate Reception, and Franco was
to all of your fans,
was this little memory for Steve. Franco
Did
Harris.
it bounce off the
Franco Harris.
No.
bounce off the turf?
He didn't
Franco
see, it was
Harris
too high up.
lazy on the play. He was nowhere where he wasn't supposed
Here.
to
Why do I
be.
feel like I'm
Wait.
listening to like Villapiano tell this
Yeah,
story?
Bill
Chuck
Villapiano.
Villapiano.
Well,
Stop
Steve,
covering him because Franco was nowhere where he was supposed
now we just started the show. Steve's a guest of our
to
show.
always close to the sideline.
I asked you one question,
My fault.
and you went on showing how you're negative about great people.
I love Franco.
You're negative about great
You
players.
know how I feel about the Italians. I love the Italians.
Yeah, but you're negative about Franco. Like, who would say he just jogged? Who would say always runs out of bounds when I asked
Well,
you?
was asked
I
if
asked you one
I wanted
question.
To win Jeopardy.
Okay, you lost, because here's the question I asked. Were you surprised that Franco
Yes.
got 1,000 yards his first year?
I was shocked.
Now, sorry, folks, 5 minutes to find out yes.
Well, we found out, yes.
Thank you, Smoking Jim. You got anything else that doesn't pertain to, fiction and fact?
It was a good fight for Steeler fans and Jacksonville fans.
Always going for something negative. How does this even happen? He's my best friend, one of the greatest guys in media, in my opinion, yet he goes to the dark side. He just goes there. I'm on the light side. It's all good. All right, we got a great substitute guest. I don't know if you have a graphic for Steve.
Do I get my own graphic?
We might, or do you just have his name? I'm asking Steve in the control room, Josh to help, and if you have to call Nick, he's available.
Steve Fisher got the chips back there. He probably can't. He's going through
can't
that
right
bag
now.
of chips, man.
Is anybody in the Ethan? Can you ask them if they can help us out here?
He's good. He's good.
You mean he can just start talking?
Okay.
Okay, we needed to know. There is no graphic, nothing for Steve. Tell them your name and.
I am Steve Wirt, and
Okay.
I am here to. Are we still going on fact and fiction, or what is?
This is your own segment.
This is my own.
Yeah,
segment,
so it's-
I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, whatever you're into.
can-
If it was about Lazy Franco and not a good practice player, even though he's a Hall of Famer, and you want to compare it to George Pickens, who has a known bad attitude and runs bad routes, I rest my case. Go ahead.
Well, speaking of crazy receivers,
Yes.
what is going on with Antonio Brown? I mean, why?
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
I mean, he's still not in the league,
Right.
And so I guess he took a shot at Tom Brady. There you go. Do I get my own? Thank you. My own graphic. Nice.
That's
nice.
perfect.
Nice.
And it's so bright in here you can't see it.
Well, that was our white, the white test.
Here, Smoking Jim, catch this. You can make another sign.
There you go.
Make it in that. It's dark black. You can understand that.
And yeah, what's going on with Tom Brady? Like just taking like a week off, and I guess he can just do whatever he wants.
Let me interrupt you. I'm an expert on this. I was married once. He's married to a supermodel, has a couple kids with her, and she quit her modeling career. And she says, "You're not spending enough time with me and
So
the
he's
kids."
just okay. Gotcha.
And you know, being married. Just thought I'd spell it out to all of you, not making anything up. Just straight up, it's how
So
simple
you honestly
it is.
think that's what it was?
100%. The power, I believe women are the stronger sex no matter what Smoking Jim says. And that's just how life is.
You don't think he's taking advantage of the black head coach?
He made a racist comment.
I'm just asking.
He's not, yeah, here, I'll answer it.
Poor Todd
He wouldn't have
Bowles.
done that against the genius. Bruce Arians wouldn't have put up with that.
We don't know
That's
exactly.
why Bruce is out, though. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
Well, on part of his questions, I don't think he would because he did, because he's done it throughout his career. He's been known to get offensive coordinators and all these other things straightened out. Look what they have there, and look at how Arians all of a sudden quit.
no, he's with the front office. It was a front office move. And if you believe that, I got some land
He's
in
the
Florida.
Omar Khan
Yeah.
of Tampa Bay.
Well, Smoking Jim's so disrespectful of Omar Khan. Steve, I'll bring you up to date. He says he knows nothing about football, yet he's a GM for the Steelers, and he signed hundreds of millions of dollars of contracts in his career with one thing: football players.
Capologist. Great capologist.
Well, I
He's
think
number
too.
cruncher.
There's a shift in philosophy. You can tell the days of like
Thank
Dan
you.
Rooney running
point.
things are
point.
long gone. Where I don't know Art's philosophy, but they definitely seem to be more like they would never trade like draft picks, future draft picks for Minkah Fitzpatrick. When
Steve,
Dan
I
was
got an
alive.
answer for you on that. Dan Rooney is officially spinning in his grave. Art Rooney III is a fan, and he doesn't put the time in at games, practice, and anything, and like Art Rooney's doing. That's what he does. He doesn't view the game the same way. And he was a lawyer. Smoking Jim knows the negative part, that he wasn't a good lawyer. So we'll just go there because that's Smoking Jim. If it's negative, it's him. And there's a different philosophy, because I hate to say we like mediocrity, because who wants to brag about having a winning record for 15 years and we haven't been in the Super Bowl since, what, 2009?
Yeah, sounds right. And we lost that one. So
But I'm just saying,
yeah, they haven't. The closest they've been, they really haven't done anything since was
3
it
playoff wins.
2016, since they lost that championship game to the Patriots.
Yes. And
They really haven't done much of anything in the
Well, that's why I
playoffs.
got the sports memory guy here backing me,
That's right.
Smoking Jim. And they've only won 3 playoff games
Yeah.
since their Super Bowl appearance.
I mean, losing to Blake Bortles in Jacksonville was kind of embarrassing there. And,
That's the cherry on the top
yeah.
of mediocrity. So I think that they play this in the media because they're all fans, whether they're on the fan or not. Everybody in Pittsburgh is unrealistic in media, they're always doing great. When have you got a bad report out of training camp?
Good point.
And some of these players will never play it down in the NFL, and we never hear that.
Good point.
So when you're not honest about it like we try to be here, I respect all of your opinions, except Smoking Jim, I got to say, in the last year or two, I disagree 100% with him, whether he's coming from left, right, or black. And I'm not racist. He came from the black card, and we'll just throw that out there, and he tosses it out. And then he's sexist, because he goes, do you believe Tom Brady would act that way? No, but his wife, Giselle, or whatever her name is, I believe she is acting that way.
Well, wasn't she the one after they lost the one Super Bowl? She was complaining about Wes Welker dropping a pass.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That's right.
So maybe there is something. And then my favorite part is he has he has a child to another supermodel. This guy,
one of my favorite
he just goes through
actresses,
supermodels
Bridget Moynihan. He was dating her. Dropped her, and she was pregnant, and he met his wife. She had the child, whose name's John, and Moynihan. It's his son.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. Spoken Jim, you miss a lot. You gotta be aware of other things except that tunnel vision you have.
Wedlock? I didn't think Tom would
Let
do
me
that
explain
out of wedlock.
something.
Well, I guess
married.
when it's a supermodel, you make exceptions. But I mean, who hasn't gotten their girlfriend pregnant? There for the grace of God.
No, sorry, we digress a little bit. But it's entertaining. And Smoking Jim, I call him like my dad. They're a little naive on issues they don't know about. And they think everything's wrong if they don't know it because they're right. So once we get past that, everything's cool. And we got this straightened out. And Steve, thanks for adding that to this. We appreciate your insights. Shout out to, let's see, who else is watching us? Chief. Chuck McElroy's watching us. All right, Jim Ellenbogen got a thing. He wrote a big thing here. Tom Brady is a money guy. The philosophy is this: look at the good and bad goes away. P.S. Tell Jim, what about Lydell Mitchell?
Yeah, that was a dream backfield, him and Franco, yeah.
And who was the starter? Lydell.
Lydell was the star. Yeah, Franco was the fullback. Lydell
He was the
tailback.
halfback.
Yeah. And
Jim,
Capoletti
thank you so much.
Capoletti was better than both of them.
He won
You
the
know, I
Heisman.
know my Italians.
Was he the one who won the
Heisman,
Heisman? He
yeah.
did win
Yeah.
the Heisman. That's what I thought. Yeah.
For his brother Joey, right?
I mean, full disclosure,
Yes.
I'm not really
Yeah.
a Penn State fan.
What?
That's my bad. I'm sorry.
My daughter went
Nobody's
there.
perfect. but, yeah.
My daughter went there, so I'm a Penn State fan. I'm a Pitt fan, and I'm a realistic Pitt fan. I saw them when Dan Marino was the quarterback, and they haven't had anybody close to that since.
I'm a fan of packed stadiums.
Well, then you're going to Gateway this Friday.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
there you go. There you
Standing room only.
Yeah, and then Jim says she was Erin Reagan on Blue Bloods, one of my favorite shows.
Who?
Bridget Moynihan,
Really?
the mother of Tom Brady's
I
son.
got to Google her.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful, Smoking
I think he
Jim.
has a strict supermodel only
I
policy
see.
in his dating.
Yeah,
life.
and she's a great actress too. Now that we're covering TV shows, one of my favorite shows, Tom Selleck's on there. I watch Magnum PI on TV on one of the lower stations in the 400s. And
He's definitely cultivated the flavor saver mustache. There
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
40 some years. Yeah.
well, look at how thin, and he was always. They once said you got to have Tom Selleck's mustache. I have a Fu Manchu, and they told me I looked like Tom Selleck.
Oh, there
That's
you
how
go.
Well,
naive
Mark
they
Malone
were.
looked like him too.
Oh, everybody with a mustache that's white. I rest my case. We're going to go to, hold your breath. This is the VIP video because Nick is producing a pirate game tonight on the Fan.
Well, it's VIP time. I have an opinion for you today, plus two other things that are on my mind, so a little bit of bonus for you today. And let's start with something Chip said. He said last week that he would love to hear me listen to baseball. I can't talk to him right now, and I don't even know if he can hear this, but I want you to comment below. Ask Chip for me. Just ask him directly. Chip, did you listen to Nick announce sports or announce baseball or announce baseball on the radio, because we were talking about that last week, and I want to see if he's done it yet. So comment below. Ask him right now if you're on Facebook. Ask him right now if he did. I want Al to take notice, and I want him to take notice, and I'd like to hear an answer by the time I can watch this show after my shift tonight. Speaking of which, I'm at the 93.7 The Fan right now doing the Pirates game. I'm covering the Pirates game, so that's why I'm not live on the show. But again, ask Chip. Have you seen Nick broadcast yet, or have you listened to Nick broadcast yet? I'd love to know the answer. Number two, another thing about Chip. So I was talking about last week that I work at 93.7 The Fan, and usually when we do Pirate games, we're usually just in the booth and we're covering the games, we're finding stats, we're watching or listening to the game, we're preparing for shows. So it's not like it would be if I were at PNC Park watching the game and getting to enjoy the city and all the atmosphere of what a ballpark is. So, but this is interesting because Chip's wife posted on Facebook yesterday that they were at the club level and they got to be in the club level during the rain delay, and you can check it out right here. I've got the post up for you. But, and that just made me think. I didn't have any evidence last week to really support what I meant, but then I see this on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, okay, so now I have a little bit of evidence. So let me just put it this way. They're at the game at a club level, watching the Pirate game, getting all the club level benefits. You can go inside, you can get food, you can relax. It's an upper echelon type of experience at the Pirate game. And on top of that, they're behind home plate, and you can see the city and the beautiful views and a good view of the field down below. So, like, Nick's view was a tiny little monitor on a wall, and the listening experience of the announcers through the control board that I had to do. Plus, during the rain delay, I couldn't be on my phone or I couldn't be, like, talking to people because I was putting on a show. And usually when I'm at work, I'm not usually on my phone. So, like, whoopsie. And I see Chip during the rain delay posting some stuff about, old-timey baseball players, and that's fine. But, I mean, that point, when I saw that post, it really emphasized my point. I'm not at a club level. I'm not eating food. I'm not inside a luxurious type of place, an upper echelon type of place. I'm in a booth, and I'm getting intimate with the Pirates. When I talk about my experience with the team, and I try to establish my credibility, just understand that, like, I am forced to watch the team. There are no distractions. No club-level distractions, no stadium distractions, no city of Pittsburgh distractions. It's me in an office for the game. I love my job, don't get me wrong, but just understand when I talk about the Pirates and my experience with the Pirates, it's on a whole nother level than somebody who gets to go to PNC Park and enjoy everything else that PNC Park offers you other than the baseball game. And then we'll move on to my third topic of interest, which is the opinion part of this segment, and that's about Baker Mayfield. He got announced as the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers this week, and gets everybody excited. I guarantee you that Week 1 Cleveland Browns-Carolina Panthers game is going to be the most watched game because Baker Mayfield's not playing against his former team, which I think is an excellent just parody. Or not parody, but whatever you call that. It's like it is highly anticipated, and it's bringing the drama to the NFL to watch that happen. A guy playing his former team when the quarterback that they acquired can't play because of a suspension. I think it's amazing. Now, do I think Baker Mayfield is going to succeed this season and bring the Carolina Panthers a lot of success? I don't. I really don't have faith in the dude to be able to be the quarterback that I guess he was drafted as. I don't think he's that good. I do stand by my opinion that if he would have got cut by the Browns, that the Steelers should have swallowed him up. But, like, obviously not going to trade for him. I know Smokin' Jim is going to disagree with that. Smokin' Jim wanted him at all costs. But I don't think at all costs. I think that he would have done well in a quarterback position with the Steelers had he gotten released. But now that he's on the Panthers just are still restructuring, and I think maybe in a couple of years they'll be okay. I don't even know if Mayfield will be their quarterback by the time that happens. But even though he won the quarterback competition with the Panthers, I mean, he's either going to play up to, like, Super Bowl or, like, conference championship levels, or they're going to fall flat. And I really hate that because I do kind of want him to succeed with how the Browns, messed him up and messed with him and, didn't hold loyalty toward him. So I want him to succeed. I really do. But if we're talking about what do I think he's going to do as the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, not much. I don't think he's going to do much. I don't think that he's that good, and especially with an arm ailment. His non-throwing shoulder, his aiming shoulder being a problem. I mean, that's still going to affect him I think long term, I don't think he's going to be the championship quarterback that the Browns advertised him as when they first drafted him, first overall. So that's my opinion, and you got 2 little bonus what's on your minds from me. That's about it. I should be back next week. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't, but they do schedule me kind of spontaneously at the Fan, so I'm just going to roll with the punches. But I like doing these segments, whether I'm live or not, for you, and so you can get in my head and figure out what's going on in Nick's opinion mind. So we'll get back to the Sportsline program now. I think Al's On Location is next, but this has been VIP time, and I'll see you next time.
Here we go. We're coming back on location in 10 seconds. I love the graphics done by A2, otherwise known as Anthony Paiano. He retired from BPTV, him and Ryan. So you won't be seeing him anymore, but that graphic will live on in infamy. Before I announce that, let's see. Tony from Chick-fil-A said, Watson should not be allowed to play football or any sport. If this was an average guy who did the same thing, he would have been in jail for a while. Wow, that's a call from out of the blue. I agree with you because I have no tolerance for abusive people against men, women, children, animals, or anybody or anything. And have 24 women file those cases, and he settled with 23 out of court so they wouldn't have to testify. It's a mystery to me. How did we go from 6-game suspension that the NFL hired a federal judge to make a ruling, and they were mistaken in their penalties, and she went with 6 games, so they appealed it, and now they come down with 11. I have my questions. Like I asked Smoking Jim one question. I have one question for the NFL. Why isn't he suspended for life? I rest my case there. On location, we got boxing coming up this weekend. August 27th, Saturday, Smoking Jim and I will be at Michael Manna's boxing. What's it called? Northside Boxing, Smoking Jim?
I think so.
Okay, he doesn't know, so we'll find out. We're there at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Mike Manna is a great pro boxer. He got one of the most powerful knockout punches in his right hand, and we found out a couple years ago his left hand is just as powerful, and he waits to do it. It's usually in that last round, Smoking Jim. We love him. He loves us. We'll be there. I have an on-location show with the Talking Machine Show. I know this is Pittsburgh Sportsline, but I'm the founder of both. I'll be doing women's. A good friend of mine, Joanne Forrester, has a 501c3, Celebrate and Share. She honors women getting the 19th Amendment passed 100 years ago. Wow. So guess what, Smoking Jim? Unlike you, women had the right to vote since about 1920.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And you still don't do it, but we understand. Oh, was I picking on him? It just happens. I'm looking at him. So we're doing that on location. Then we have a great show September 3rd in the haunted prison, Monsville Prison in West Virginia. Jim Frio, Mike Murray, they love us. They love us doing all their shows down there. We'll be filming and announcing. We'll try to do Facebook Live on that, so stay tuned for that. Then on September 4th, which is a Sunday, we're going to be at Beyondy Lincoln Mercury. It's in Smoking Jim's front yard, we think. We really don't know where he lives in Monroeville. I know he's not homeless, and I know he doesn't live on a bench at the mall, Monroeville Mall, because I've been there. But we know that, and we're supposed to do a show. I think it's for Jim Sandemaro and Steve Cunningham, USS Cunningham, champion middleweight, cruiserweight champion. And we just did a show with him last week. So look forward to fights at Beyondy Lincoln Mercury. So can't wait for that. Then I'm doing an on location. I got to recruit some camera guys, possibly one of these guys here, for Rev 'em Up for Kids on the 4th. From noon till 7 in the morning. I don't think I'll be filming till after 4 because I got to go all the way from Monroeville to get here. Smoking Jim would tell you how long it takes, but he's not usually in Monroeville when he comes here. And he does love pasta too,
Yes,
and
sir.
KFC.
Yes, sir.
Our friend Ernie Keegan, he said, enjoy that chicken.
Thank you, Ernie.
I talked to him today.
That's my man.
He's doing well. He said, check out Smoking Jim and that 9-piece bucket of dark meat. So we got that covered. That's our on locations. We're going to have a little free-for-all here on sports. I'm going to pick Steve's mind because I like some of what he said here already.
Yes, sir.
So what else on sports? Like, what do you watch in a normal week with sports?
What do I watch in a normal week of sports?
Yes.
Well, today I watched probably one of the weirder things I've seen was, believe it or not, there's a European Football League.
That is weird.
So my parents turned it on. I was with my parents, and they turned it on, and I thought this is going to be soccer, right? You're thinking soccer. But no, it's actually they resurrected the old NFL Europe. So like the Rhine Fire, the Frankfurt Galaxy, the Barcelona.
Like historical type.
Yeah, and then they added a couple teams. So I don't know, watching some team from Leipzig. And so that's I was watching very low minor league football. But
Wow.
they did
you
say
like it?
It wasn't great, but I think they had the quarterback for the one team was not very like I think their other quarterbacks had gotten hurt because like he
might have been a third stringer.
He might have been a fourth stringer.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean he was carrying the ball on his hip, and I'm sitting there the whole time.
can't
like,
do
this
that.
is a fumble waiting to happen, and he fumbled, but he got it back, and it was actually a close game, but it was not well played football.
No, that's interesting. Yeah.
But it was just so weird because I didn't even know this league existed.
Yeah.
But I guess they were saying on the broadcast, one of the guys, I didn't catch the name, actually in the middle of the season had went and I guess he had signed with the Cowboys so one of the guys out of that league had.
Wow.
I don't know if he made the final cuts.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, they're getting close to
the
making
final
those.
cuts are coming this week. Is that this week or after the last? It'll probably be after
this last game.
preseason
Yeah, because they'll
game.
have one more week since they don't do 4 games anymore.
Yeah.
Because they say they're worried about the C issues with brains. So we don't really believe that because look at what happens. So, but that's another story. No, that's interesting. You saw that. Thanks for bringing that up. I'm glad I asked a good question. Smoking Jim, the difference between you and Steve. He answered my question.
Every once in a while.
I appreciate that. Smoking Jim, what the heck do you watch on TV?
Well, I watch 2 college football games a day on tape, 365 days a year. But when I'm not watching
So that's
that,
730 football games.
I never added it up. But
Why multiply?
Okay. You're better at math than me.
Well, I did 2 times 365.
Is that what it comes out to? And but when I'm not
730.
when I'm not doing that, I'm watching boxing. I think this is the greatest era of heavyweight boxing of all time. I've been
Right
predicting
now,
that
really?
right now.
Guess what? I throw a red flag on that.
I couldn't name a heavyweight boxer. Who was the Russian guy? That's the last Klitschko or Klitschko or whatever.
Yeah,
That's the last
The
heavyweight.
Klitschkos.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
I
the
can
difference
remember.
between this era and eras previously is nobody had to contend with Cuba. There's 4 Cuban heavyweights that are outstanding, and no one had to fight the Russians because of the communist country. And Russia has been dominating. Usyk, the Klitschko brothers, they've been dominating.
Well, the Klitschkos are fighting a war.
Well, I'm saying when they've been champions.
They're fighting a war. I got to interrupt you.
22
I got to
years.
interrupt you, but I'm older than you. I'm 6 years older at least, maybe more, maybe 10 or 12. But in the 70s, the boxing,
that's what I'm thinking.
every boxer and heavyweight could have been champion, or if they didn't have a champion, you couldn't knock them out or down.
70s was a good era.
Yeah,
But
you
that's
got
what I
Foreman,
hold to the higher
Ali
level.
Yeah.
Still, who else had
Well,
I'm missing a bunch
then
of
I
guys,
go
yeah.
back in history.
Joe Frazier,
Yeah.
Foreman.
Right.
Yeah.
and
These
even
guys
the
today-
middleweights.
these
How
guys-
about
I
Norman?
mean, it's
These
tough.
guys today are better. This is the best
I
era.
gotta
This is
disagree
the
with
best
you.
era. Number one, as much as I like Muhammad Ali,
Yeah.
he wasn't as good as Cassius Clay or Cassius X.
You know Cassius Clay's the same guy.
Well, they fight two different. They were two different fighters.
Well, you know Cassius Clay.
Wasn't that his? Wait a minute. It's
Muhammad
fucking
Ali.
confusing me. It's the same person.
He became.
So are
the
you saying
heavyweight-
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wasn't as good as Lou Alcindor? Or
Yes, yes. That's how he goes. He has this personality issue. Muhammad Ali was a heavyweight champion, even came back from losing the heavyweight.
Yes.
Cassius Clay did what? He won the championship?
He floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee.
did he win the gold?
and
Is
could
that when he
dance.
won the gold?
He won
Cassius Clay.
gold. Well, he
was
turned
Cassius
into,
Clay.
He turned
Yeah.
into Cassius X in 1964, and then Muhammad Ali after that. But the best 4 years of his life, he wasn't able to box. So, and from 74 to
Well, because
78,
he wouldn't go in the military. Yeah.
yeah, from 74 to 78, Muhammad Ali was probably the most overrated heavyweight champion of all time.
What do you think his previous years before his standing up against a war that we shouldn't
Yeah,
have had?
yeah, that's what I say. Cassius
He
Clay
was
or Cassius
Muhammad
X.
Ali when he stood up. He wasn't
Okay.
Cassius Clay.
Okay.
You got to rewrite history again.
Okay. Well, I separate the two because the styles
Well, Cassius
are so
Clay
different.
was a Golden Glove Olympic champion with the gold.
light heavyweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, light heavyweight.
And then he won. He became Muhammad Ali after he won. Who did he beat?
Sonny Liston.
Then he became the heavyweight champion.
Yes.
And renamed himself Muhammad Ali.
Well,
so you have the split personality.
Well, he got named.
Cassius Clay won it. Muhammad Ali took over for Cassius Clay, and then he said, I ain't got nothing against the Viet Cong.
Yeah, he did say that.
And he went to jail, and they stopped him from boxing.
No, he never went to jail. He stayed
Well, they
out.
threatened him. He had to stand trial.
Yeah, he couldn't box.
Well, just a
and
little
make money.
history. I'm not giving
Yeah.
revisionist history. I'm giving the way I saw it as a young man.
But I think Tyson Fury is better than any fighter that ever put on gloves, including Rocky Marciano, Muhammad Ali.
Well, see, Marciano's another guy they always say didn't fight. You know, that he didn't have a lot of other people that were as good as
In
the
that
70s.
era.
Yeah, they say he fought a lot. Well, see, Joe Louis
I mean,
was
he always fought
37 years
clean.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Louis was 37 years old, and
Well, here,
Well, there's
I'll-
no Jack Johnson. That's
Jack
for sure.
Johnson was good.
Well, here.
That's another
like-
good
that's
one.
like the
Yeah,
old
that
guy.
is
I'm-
another
I'm a
good one.
guy.
I'm a fan. We got a couple minutes. I'm a fan of Harry Greb, the Pittsburgh Windmill.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
went
Harry-
like 159 fights without a loss. He fought like 400 fights.
Well, nobody was
he
like
fought,
him.
He did something unusual. You're a black man.
Yes.
He fought black men and
Yeah.
didn't avoid them.
Yeah.
He fought
Yeah.
white, black, Italian. He didn't care who they were. The Windmill. And he was even blind in one eye.
That's a good point. But he wasn't a heavyweight.
No, but
Again-
he fought Jack Dempsey and beat him.
That's right. You're right. But I'll say
thank
this
you.
real quick
Is
because
that
since you
wrong?
brought up Jack
Thanks,
Johnson,
Josh.
a lot of people don't know that they hated Jack Johnson so much. I mean, he went to jail for marrying a white woman.
No,
but
he wasn't married to her. He
he
crossed,
crossed
the,
state lines.
and you know what that is?
The Mann Act.
It was illegal.
But what I'm saying is they banned black fighters for fighting for the title between him and Joe Louis. That's why Joe Louis had to be
Well, here I'll give you another guy, Charlie Burley.
Charlie Brett was another one they done.
They avoided him like the plague.
Even Sugar Ray Robinson wouldn't fight.
And Sugar Ray Robinson is one of my best pound-for-pound boxers in
Archie
history.
Archie Moore fought Charlie Burley and got knocked out.
I understand. Well, we found out our timer's off a little bit, so we're about ready to say goodnight. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate your comments on Facebook Live. Every week, Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook Live. Stay Joey strong.